Cookie.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Say hello, Cookie.
Hello, Kimmy.
Hola.
Hey, girl.
Hey,
what
girl.
up?
How are
What
you?
up? I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? I'm glad.
I'm doing good. A little work stress, but it ain't nothing that that I can't handle. My energy can't handle.
I hate work stress, but worse than work stress, you know what I hate the stress of?
Mm-hmm.
The stress of a nigga.
Woo. Because that is something that actually has been at least work stress. At least I know I'm going to leave y'all.
Yeah, this nigga, I may not
You
leave you.
start and end with him.
I know I start.
I start the day with you and I come back
what
to you.
I'm gonna do? This nigga gonna be the death of me.
And I'm in it.
Come on. That's what I'm saying. So
I'm above it though. You really done put me on some shit recently when you
What?
like, I just refuse to allow, it's mine, right? So I'm like, yo, every time I'm thinking like I'm about to get stressed about something, I'm like, but he mine.
And whatever it is, it's
you know what I'm
yours.
saying?
He yours. That thing, that building is yours. Why I'm stressing about it? I'm not
So
gonna.
it's just like,
You ain't gonna kill me.
cause like, why am I stressing about abundance when you know how much lack is out here? Especially in Colorado, you drive around, you see these folks just lounging. Folks don't have it.
Girl.
All people need. We keep hearing how we in a recession. People need. It's so much, need around. There's so much lack around. It's like, why am I stressing about an abundance? Why am I stressing about something that I got? At least I know that's mine.
Man.
So I refuse to stress about these niggas no more. That's why.
Not stressing about
got
these
3.
niggas. Oh, I meant to ask you too. What you feel about these hood niggas? Okay, so this is my thing. Would you date a nigga? Let's say he's a really good nigga now in his life, but maybe back in the day he did a little stint in jail.
Oh
Hold
my God.
No, I'm saying, but he done turned his life around.
What for?
I mean, he a felon. Let's just say that. We won't even get into the deets yet, but let's just say he is a felon, but somehow he turned it around.
I need the felony. I need to know what it is.
It makes a difference, huh?
Oh, it makes a huge difference. Is this nigga a felon because he was knocking bitches off? Or is he a felon because he was selling a little dope? That's different.
Bottom line is whatever
Bottom
was.
line.
Bottom line is
This nigga done been in the
this
pen.
nigga say he rehabbed and he ain't did nothing since he been out. So what I'm saying, look, friend, listen, this is what I'm saying. Do you think a nigga, listen, now all of a sudden, she don't believe in rehabilitation.
Here's the thing.
Now
It's not that.
Well, I don't know now.
Now, here's I got several questions.
Hold on.
Question number 1.
Uh-huh.
What was he in for?
I don't even want to travel down that road yet. I just want to say
Question
overall,
number 2.
Okay, overall felon, but okay, go ahead.
How long was he in there for?
Okay, 5, at least minimum. 5 years.
'Cause here's the
5 and
thing.
up.
I don't mind messing with a hood nigga, but I want you to be good at what you're doing.
But let's do the
I don't want to mess with an unsuccessful. You got caught.
That's what so here's my criteria for a hood nigga.
That's why I asked.
You don't necessarily have to have been to jail, but you could have been to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Bumpy Johnson did a couple
Yeah,
years.
you could have been, but you don't necessarily. You could still be a hood nigga and never have been to jail. Just maybe you just been real tight with your shit. I don't know.
How long do you think you
But
got to be in jail before you got booty poked?
well,
'Cause that's why my question was too.
Well,
like,
that's
how
a
long
long,
was he in there?
but that's a long time. What my thing is this: let's not even get into that. Let's just focus on. Let's just say that part we clear on.
Very crucial
but
part.
if he's been to jail, but he's turned his life around, and so he has a little bit of a history of a hood nigga. But now he's financially stable. Maybe got a couple baby mamas, but he's taking care of the kids. You know what I mean? Maybe he like
Couple? Wait, that just hit me.
but he taking care of all of them though.
Listen,
Because a couple is at least 2. Would you deal with him?
here's the thing, because for me, hood is a location, but some of that is just unsuccessful, period. Like, I don't want to be with hood or not hood, no nigga who got several baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be with it.
Well, I just put it as hood.
Or not hood.
I just put it as hood just because
I know that's what I'm saying. But
behavior,
if that hood,
but it could be anybody.
that's what I'm saying. Well, oh no,
But
I
I'm
know
saying
a
that
hood nigga
for a
can
hood
have that
nigga, it's
too.
gonna be-
I'm
yeah.
just saying, I wouldn't want to deal with a hood nigga who has that. Like, I wouldn't deal with anything. But if I got a hood nigga like Ghost from Power, yes. But if I got a hood nigga like them niggas Jussie Smollett hired,
but you know what's so God, we gotta talk about them. But what's so funny is that's how I know there's levels of hood niggas.
It
just
is.
like levels of anything else.
Everything
yeah.
has a
So
a
the street
hierarchy.
corner hustler
I'm not
versus the
damn.
stick up kid versus the
Right.
nigga who's stealing cars versus the coke dealer versus the coke supplier.
Exactly.
Like there's levels, right? And so
Well, I will say about people who grew up in a hood situation, because it's also a hood nigga who becomes a businessman. I know him
That
too.
happens too.
I got a friend who's like that, and so like hood nigga running a great company, like you know what I'm saying, like. But the thing I do appreciate about hood niggas is they were likely raised by their mama, so they have really good manners. Hood niggas be treating girls really nicely because they grew up being in a very protective state because they kind of had to be the daddy of their house for the most part, or dad was working a lot. So even like everybody hates Chris. The older brother is like the man of the house, even though dad is there. So I do feel like in situations where it's kind of hood and dad is off to work or dad is not there or dad is in prison, that you get this man who is used to catering to his mom. So he caters to women really well. But niggas be having manners.
What's so funny is the irony to me is my experience with hood niggas, or I'll say, because I'm likening it to this coke dealer I knew. He was like the most, even though he was doing something that was so illegal, everything he was gaining from it was almost just to live a normal life. It was like, I'm taking care of my community, I'm taking care of my family, and it was like everything but that was pretty much straight and narrow. I'm paying for my cousin to go to college. I'm doing this. It's like I'm doing that, but this is the life. Like, it's so interesting to me versus I've met niggas who are on the straight and narrow, and them niggas is doing some really crazy shit on the side that you don't even realize. But you know, for all intents and purposes, he has a nice job. He comes off well.
I think it's something to be said about what you value when you didn't have it. That scrappiness that you become, and like I feel like that about me now, right? Like post anything, right? Post traumatic posting. So you can grow up in a hood and that's post traumatic stress, but I would say like post my marriage, I value my peace way more than things I valued before I got married. Yeah. So I value peace in a relationship way more before. So I feel like that about like maybe hood niggas. They value peace because they grew up in Motion. And so like a normal life for them is just like, yo, I know I'm gonna be able to lay my head down. I know I'm in a good neighborhood. I had a friend today give a speech at Toastmasters, and they were like, you know, they grew up in like South Central LA, and they were like, well, I just know I don't want to be there. Right. So it's just like, they're like, even when I go back to visit, I'm there, but then I'm like, yo, let's go to Hollywood because I know I don't want to be there, right? So it's just like there is something to be said about wanting, about when you grow up in certain situations, even if they're not horrible, that it just teaches you to value something else. It teaches you to work hard. Yeah. That's the problem with like kind of, you know, spare the rod, spoil the child, right? Like if you don't want for anything, you don't value anything either.
Real shit. Like for real. Like so many times parents are trying to give children what they didn't have. They forget to give them what they did have. And it's like, it's a totally different person you create when they don't have to like want for anything necessarily, or they have this idea that things come like this. It's funny.
Because abundance should be a state of being, but not an existence.
Yes.
You know, like it's different. Like I should feel and have abundance and then give away, but I shouldn't exist in just abundance around me. That looks very different, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. Yeah, but oh my God, I got to tell you. Okay, so you know those two brothers, those black brothers that they
Black brother,
black my brother,
strong brother. That APOC that Greg got us reading today. I love Angie. Where she at?
Oh my God. But yeah, so they say so Jussie Smollett. I can never call him his real name after Dave Chappelle called that nigga Jussie. Justice for Jussie.
Justice for Jussie. I love Dave.
Justice for Jussie. Here's like, so Jussie Smollett's alleged attackers gave a tell-all interview on Fox about.
I love the word tell-all though.
Tell-all.
Don't you just love getting somewhere like, I'm about to tell my story?
Niche, nigga. No, because you gotta go look at the video.
It's not snitching.
Y'all get on there.
Tell me about it. I ain't gonna watch it. Tell me about it.
But them niggas is like going through it, and like literally, you almost feel like, yo, are you niggas is wilding right now. He was like, the one brother explaining, he like, so I dug my knuckle in his forehead like this, and then I twisted it. Because I wanted to leave a mark. Because yo, and then he was like,
everybody know they be having a story.
Yo, then they go, and he was like, so right here, a struggle ensued, and and he wanted, and Jussie wanted it to be, he wanted it made to be seem like he fought back. So he wanted to.
So he didn't want to be no bitch.
So he's like,
Nigga
yo,
taking dick, but don't want to be a bitch.
I'm gonna need one of you niggas to take one hit. You know what I'm saying? But then fuck me up because it's two of y'all. But make sure
But I knock one
make
of
sure
them
that
out.
I know, like, hey, I hit one. Like, so when I'm telling a story to my sister Journey, that little bitch from Lovecraft.
I love Journey.
I love her, but I'm saying she related to that nigga. So
Do not lump her in. See,
she was following.
Damn.
Hey, she knew his motherfucking ass was telling a lie.
No, she
And
didn't. You don't know that.
Oh my God. Oh, we all knew.
I don't be knowing my brother lies.
So we all knew this by the nature of this story. A, that probably my little brother's a liar. B, that nigga, none of the story made sense. Like Dave Chappelle said, I'm like, nigga, what? I'm like, why niggas wanted to beat you up?
Aren't you from that dude?
Aren't you that nigger from Empire? And he was like, what? And what I'm mad about is. And maybe this is our way of having black inclusion. Why did you hire two niggas to play the part of two white men? Why did you just hire two white men to play two white supremacists? Nigga, I'm confused. You gonna have us do it?
He had cheaper labor.
Why did you? Because you want us. Because you want inclusion, don't you?
Cheap labor.
Mommy, she looks like me. Motherfucking Ariel, Little Mermaid
You
shit.
too can scam niggas against the
You
police.
can play a white supremacist. There's not anything you can't do, young black man. But my thing is like, I feel okay. So these niggas is like, so he wanted it to look like he gave a heroic effort, and so he had to let him. Now these niggas is huge, both way bigger, like really strong. Okay, dark skinned, attractive, strong black
Are
men.
they attractive? I don't think I've seen them.
Yeah, they're like strong. They're good looking black men, like, and they're brothers. To put Jussie Smolier's attackers. Put them in. Interview.
See these niggas. Okay.
Jussie Smollett. Yeah. So anywho, I don't know. I just feel like Jussie was tripping. But yeah, they didn't told everything. They got cut a little check for giving the story.
Did they go to jail?
No. Well, they did initially. I believe, because it was found that they did the attacking, and so they had to come clean about. I'm
gonna use attractive relatively.
I knew she was gonna say that. You know what?
They in shape though.
They in shape.
They got abs.
I think they know him in the past from training or something. That's how he even knew them.
He ain't trained like this. They in shape. They got
So what
abs.
you think they was doing when they got
APAC.
together? What you think they was doing when they got together?
I don't think
If
he
they
know
wasn't
them.
training. Oh, you don't think he know
Plotting
them?
its assailant. Like, I ain't gonna throw them under the bus like that. I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
Jussie ain't in that kind of shape. They in shape.
Oh yeah, they in shape. Yeah, but that's who I would hire to get me in shape. Even if I don't look like I'm in shape, I'm gonna hire them niggas though.
But see, I judge you because if you got a good hairdresser and your hair look a mess, so if you got a good trainer and you look a mess,
That means you ain't
You're
working.
not committed.
You just paying for the look of it. You're not really doing it. But yeah, they was girl. They done told everything. Like they gave that fool up so quick. But I don't think Jussie expected like it to maybe to go that far or something.
I think he need a
Because they
hug.
told everything.
So I learned today that chimpanzees touch each other at least 10 times a day. And maybe Jussie needed a hug. But because it was like, so and they kiss, they hug, monkeys, period. And they have like 85% of our intelligence or something, but
Yeah.
like they kiss,
Similar.
they hug, they touch, they do it at least 10 times a day because they need it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh my God, yes.
we as humans are supposed to do that. So you're just supposed to walk by and like touch
It released it.
somebody
Oh my
or
God.
hug
They did a
somebody.
study that way.
That's probably why niggas is crazy.
Waiters and waitresses who touched the client like were tipped more. Like that people don't like, we live in a very like don't touch me like weird society now, but that, we do need those things. And the teacher student relationship, like there's a way to supportively touch someone and it not be sexual, but like everything now is deemed like sexual or raunchy. So people don't want to do that anymore. But like that's proven to like help people in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of different ways.
It is. And like, it's like Asperger's, or if you're having like an autistic attack, or even the straight jacket is really like a hug.
Mm-hmm.
It's a suppression of your
It's a hug, just a hug
It
from
is.
you.
It's a hug.
You know what I'm saying? But
Like
it's a
yourself.
hug nonetheless.
But you're supposed to like suppress your,
Or
like,
think away the babies are swaddled. It's like there's something
it's like
about being comforted,
that
like or
suppression of
tucked
your-
in. It's like you feel
Yes. I love
secure.
that.
It's like in your mommy's womb.
It
or
relaxes
nestled under your
nerve-
partner.
your sympathetic nervous system. It
Yes.
relaxes it. So like,
Yes.
so we're not touching each other enough. So I feel
Oh,
like
I'm touching me all day.
we're supposed to
I
touch,
touch other people too. They touch me. I mean, I
That
touch
sounds
you.
sexual.
Doesn't see that's our problem.
just kidding, I'm
We
just
deem it all sexual, but I'm telling you,
I touch
even your
myself.
homegirls can. Who can do me better than me though? Who can do me. I gotta teach him how to do me.
Negro.
And I can show him what to do. No, but no, I do. You're right. I think that like touch is very, very important. I mean, we see what happens when children aren't touched. We've caught I remember they said they love where they would find, even though it's sad, cases of feral children, because now we get to study, because you would never, you can't do this type of a study to a baby, it'd be inhumane, but to find children who have not been touched. How like, and how no contact significantly retards them. It's like there's things that you can never get back. Even if you catch them later, because they didn't get that at that certain point, they're done for. They'll never learn language. They're like animal-like, you know, even. So we know that touch is like hugely important.
Well, and that's why I think that, to me, why social media, I'm not going to call it toxic, but I do feel like it's at some point, it's harmful to us, because you get to interact and touch. You get to interact as much, but touch less, right? Or interact more and touch less.
Yep.
So it's appearances of connection, but I don't get to touch you. So that means I get to call you a bitch, but I don't have to be like, bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so then so I don't feel you. And so I think that it's probably overload for us to interact with people that much and not touch them.
And you know what I think it does?
It actually probably dehumanizes us.
I think it does. And I think it also, you start realizing that these people were having a relationship with themselves, for sure. Yeah. And they had romanticized it. That's another thing. How long we can go on living like that. Like, it's really crazy how much we can do that to ourselves. Because I think about those catfish relationships where I was talking on the phone with him for 7 years. He's my partner. I love him. Like, what? You had no contact from somebody that you said you love like that?
That's Love is Blind.
And that was your... And
you know how I feel about Zenab.
Zenab, that bitch. But no, justice for Cole. But no,
fuck around and
you're
find
right.
out.
You're right. Like, it's like people are pretty much learning how to be in a relationship with themselves.
They are. And like, it's interesting too, because first of all, fun fact about Kimmy that we haven't learned is Kimmy is in Toastmasters, and
she is.
She's kind of the ringer, but for table topics.
She's killing it. Cookie's done Toastmasters. A lot of fun. Did it in Texas.
I mean, very great.
Join
right?
Toastmasters, guys.
Toastmasters.
If you're interested in bettering your public speaking.
Exactly. But so, and in class today, somebody made a speech and they were talking about the Rodney King riots, and then they were like talking about how they got filmed, and they were like, "Well, I'm gonna ask you this first. What's the opposite of a memory?"
Ooh, the opposite of a memory. So a memory is something you remember or forget. I guess never.
Or memory, or even a memory is something that has happened in the past that you memorialized.
Yes.
Right.
You're perfect.
So what's the opposite of that?
That you don't memorialize. That's gone.
Or like, I say only ask that because I'm like, I was thinking about, so he was saying with the writing, he was like, and who's taping this? It was interesting that he thought he had that thought as a kid, because I thought that, I'm like, who was taping that, right? Because they didn't have cell phone cameras, so back then, because you had a camera recorder, you weren't prepping for film.
So you really caught it.
Everything was in memory. Everything was like catching the past or catching it as it was passed, because you didn't get to watch it.
Yeah.
You didn't get to edit it. So you really were catching the past. And I thought about my dad, who his surname was Tracy Still Black on all our videos. So he'd be like, yo, this is Tracy Still Black back in effect with the family.
Oh, yeah.
And it'd be us everywhere, right? He filmed everything after that, right? Because it was just like, I want to capture all this. Well, nowadays we got cameras, and we're not capturing memories with our cameras. We're creating whatever the opposite of that is with our phones.
Oh my God.
And that's why I'm like, what is the opposite of a memory? Because we're doing that
We're
now.
just creating
We're not
it.
even living.
It's not a...
We're
We're
living
making
to
it
record.
for
We're not recording our living.
Oh my God.
And so it's just
oh
like...
my God, mind fucking blown.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're doing. So, okay.
So it's like, what the fuck? So that's why we're all fucked up.
How does that lead to our...
I'm not even living. I'm recording in backwards. I'm living backwards because I'm not recording forward.
I said the same fucking thing. I'm walking down the street in my neighborhood, and I see a girl by the fucking brick wall posing, and the camera's up and shit, and she's taking a picture of her living life. She wants them to believe this is what I was doing. This is what my life looks like. But I'm looking at her life. Her life is
backwards.
making up something for them to
Her
see.
life is creating a memory or the opposite of it.
And I'm seeing her life.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's getting the real picture of her life. But you all are looking at some shit she strung together.
So it's so unnatural.
It's totally
so
unnatural.
So I'm like, social media is making us live
totally unnatural.
forward, backwards, right? It is making us create for the past or create for the still moment.
Man.
And it's letting us not interact because we don't even touch it anymore. So what the fuck? It's no wonder that kids are fucked up.
Let me tell you, I'm so glad that technology came into my life at the time that it did and that I didn't get ruined by it too early. Because I look at these people now, like, let me tell you what I use social media for. Like, I notice people really use that shit as, like, you to know my status, how attractive you think I am, all that. I hate social media for that because I just feel like I am like the best in person. So I don't even give a fuck. I just be feeling like you niggas be, but you
What's
know
the opposite of
you know
catfish?
what
That's me.
You know what the opposite is though? The opposite is
dolphin?
You be following these bitches who you think whatever. You meet these hoes in person, it ain't nothing like what you think.
So are we dolphins? Catfish is the bottom feeder. What's the top feeder? We're birds. Oh wait, nah, I ain't no bird ass bitch. I was like, never mind. That's another time.
She said, we're birds. We're birds.
I ain't no bird. But I know, but like, what's the opposite of a bottom feeder? What's the top feeder?
That's I fucking hate.
I'm a lion.
Top of the food chain. I don't know.
Lion.
Yeah, lions are top of the food chain.
Or humans,
but,
we would think.
Yeah, because we can kill them. Right. But it's
lion.
like, yeah,
I'm a lioness.
That's how I feel. I feel like, you know, when a nigga say, when a nigga wants me to know his social media, when I meet him, I'm always like, here we fucking go. This nigga want me to see that he got thousands of followers. I don't give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck though. And so he's like, what's your IG? And then I'm like, why did this nigga just ask me? And when I look, I'm like, oh, because he got 25,000 followers. So he thinks that's something. And especially when he see I got 115. He really gonna be like, oh yeah, I can bag this bitch.
I got about 3K, but organically.
Yeah.
I be on there just smiling like, me and Wellesley.
And I'm not saying he didn't
know how I got that many.
I'm not saying he didn't get it organically, but I just feel like people build an identity around it.
But I don't think you
It's
get
so
more
funny.
than 1,000 organically. Well, I don't think you get more than like 5,000 organically. When I say organically, I mean like not trying, not doing things, not hashtagging.
There's got to be other stuff.
Yeah,
yes.
It's some intentionality
Come on.
behind it. No.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm on there just like,
yeah.
me, and you know when I got the most followers? When I was a vegan, because I was on there like making vegan meals. Like, I'm trying to lose this weight,
and people were into that shit.
Like, and I didn't hashtag or nothing.
Yeah.
It was just like,
which I think is okay. Like, I think it's cool that you can do that. I just don't like for your identity to be wrapped in it, because I be knowing like, nigga,
it's too fickle.
It's too.
First of all,
come on.
I can't have what I will say, and I saw me going down a dark path of like looking at who's looking at me. But then I look at my thing and like, yo, I look at my boss thing one day, his shit is up there all day. I look the next day, it's gone. So like, if he cared about me looking at it and he validated how I felt about him off of that, it'd be so false. So I feel that way about everything else. It's like,
oh my God.
I don't know. Only people whose stories I consistently watch. First of all, the only people who always watch my stories is my mama. Shout out to her. And my sister. And that's about it. And my best friend.
That always watch it.
Every time I look on there, I'm like, I know I'm gonna get 3 likes. You know, like,
and that's all. Yeah. I know
but those
somebody.
are the 3 likes that matter.
Yeah.
Well, my sister was like, "What should I call her? Like, what you doing?" She's like, "Girl, I'm caught in the garden."
Yeah.
I was worried. I'm like, I ain't getting no like from you today.
Like you didn't like. So you didn't like my post.
So you didn't like it.
So you didn't like my post. Why didn't you just tell me?
She'll like it and then text me. This girl is so deep. I love that post you made.
Girl,
like,
or I just put, this is what I do to all my friends. I put hearts or fires. Hearts or fires.
Fire.
Hearts or fires.
Or all day I'm just seeing you stuff like, I want to talk to you about this. I want to talk to you about this. I want to talk to you about this.
And I just like to get it. Sometimes even if I don't respond, I like to get it. I'm like, oh,
this,
Precious does the same thing.
Yes, I'm like, I just want to tell my friend this. You know, it's like,
yes, things that come to your mind.
If I had to use that to like find friends, I'd be sad. I'm using it just to communicate with my friends. Like, look at this nigga.
No, exactly. My relationship with you come on. It's like this nigga, these niggas right
Why
here.
did I just find out that my best friend is following like this kind of bae I got going on? I'm like, nigga, that's how I know she don't know how to work social media. I know she done follow him by accident.
Your boo boo?
Yes.
Oh, nigga. Oh, you got the streets is calling this session because you got to tell them. Yes, you.
But I'm like,
do.
Why are you following him? She's talking about I hit follow.
He probably was suggested because he's you. And then she's like, okay, whatever.
I hope she followed him before he got private. It's
now
so embarrassing. I'm like, you're so embarrassing.
Now she following him. Listen,
she's like, I just want to see who you like.
But my thing is like, I just feel like all that social media shit, I don't give a fuck about. It could be cute. Like, I feel like I want to see what you like.
Yeah.
And then it's cool then to see like, oh, I see what you post. That's cool. But it's like, I want to see what you really like because And this why the dude and
I got something for you.
I was I can't even bring that up.
All right.
Okay, I can't even. Oh my God, sorry. But no, like I want to see what you're like in real life. I want to see what you're like in real life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's more important.
Let's make love in the studio. This is not what they were saying about with computer love.
Computer love, computer love. What the fuck?
That's you ain't do that. That was like
Kimmy hitting her chest and shit. I think Kimmy was on the step team, y'all. Kimmy was on the step team. My name is Kimmy. I kind of thick.
I was not thinking in college. But speaking of like social media, so Chris Rock's documentary came out on Netflix.
Oh, come on, Chris Rock.
And it was talking about, but a part of it was talking about selective outrage. And I think that social media is the funnel for selective outrage because because it selects your outrage.
It
I
does.
mean, quite frankly, hashtags and it's targeting selects your outrage.
It's like a menu. It's, you know, when the stewardess comes down the aisle on your flight and it's like, you want chicken or beef? You want chicken or beef? And they're like, I like chicken. Okay, well then I'll give you up your controversy in chicken. And some people, I want the vegan option, please.
Also me. I'm like, can I have the vegan and the combo?
I'll take the vegan option.
I'm the one who's at Chipotle. Like, can I get the sofritas with the steak?
Kosher. Yes. And I want it kosher. No, so yeah, you're exactly right. It's the lecture outrage because you know what? It's not its fault. It's our fault because it knows people do like outrage. So let me give you some that'll fit your taste. You know, everybody likes a little bit of outrage. So if we didn't want to consume it, they wouldn't.
We do,
but
what's interesting about his selective outrage, he was saying it's like he compared Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, right?
Okay, let's talk about it.
He was like, well,
because they the same, if you ask me.
He said same thing. One was convicted, one not. He was like. So we can't listen to Step in the Name of Love.
Come on.
Y'all out here talking about somebody give you butterflies.
Come on. You give me butterflies.
He was like, when I play Seems Like You're Ready, and you're like, cut it off. You know?
And come on, as far as I'm concerned, the motherfucking kids that R. Kelly was messing with was a bit older than the ones Michael Jackson was messing with.
But see, the only thing
Allegedly.
But that's what I'm saying. One you can say alleged and one you cannot.
But here's my thing. You also got the court of public opinion. And you know niggas in the hood.
That's not fair. That's selective outrage.
Niggas in the hood was like, hey, this nigga do have an amusement park at his house.
Who doesn't?
A petting zoo. And you never really...
My dad just had a blast at the fair with my niece.
You never really hear about him with any groupies. He'd just be with kids. And I'm like, you know, like Macaulay Culkin, Priscilla.
Yeah, Priscilla.
Rest in peace. She died recently. Priscilla Presley passed away. Mm-hmm. Anyways,
Presley like Elvis.
Rest in peace. Yes, Elvis's only daughter. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting so many realizations right now.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? Yeah,
I didn't know she was Elvis's daughter.
Yeah, Priscilla.
Damn, so he dead, his daughter dead, and Michael Jackson dead.
Wait, is the wife dead? Wait, no, what's her name?
This is so stressful.
Something Presley.
I hate finding out people die.
So y'all know Elvis's daughter passed away. Now I got to make sure that's not the wife's name. But Priscilla, if Priscilla's the wife, the daughter is Priscilla's the mother.
That's kind of like dating a black girl because you know Elvis.
What
had
the hell
swag.
is his daughter's name? Y'all know it'll come back to me. But anyway, Elvis's daughter, who was married to Michael Jackson, she passed away.
That's it.
Yeah, she passed away recently. So. Yeah, that was pretty sad. I don't know what's going on, but she had just been at an award show and she was looking sick then. Like she had this look on her. So I don't know. People now we think that was death, but death be knocking at your door.
It's true, but like okay, so but he was talking. He used that for selective outrage.
Chris Rock,
or he used other examples that I thought were like really relevant. Like he was like, he talked about how like. Lululemon or every product now doesn't tell you about them, but he said he walked by Lululemon and was like, we support this, that, like blacks,
BLM,
gay rights, this,
LGBT.
And he was like, but you don't support the poor with them $75 yoga pants.
Hey, come on.
But it don't tell you. He was like, I don't give a fuck who you support.
Period.
Do you stop sweat on my balls? Like,
period.
Like it was really hilarious.
That's
but it was
exactly.
Like,
you're not really.
Like, everything right now is like pandering to your outrage, and people just have it. They want to have it when they want to. They want to be mad about something and not mad about nothing.
And this is how they want their outrage. They don't want the inconvenient kind, the kind that has to change my life too much. Because like I saw on one of the Joe Rogan shorts when I was on YouTube, how Joe Rogan was like, every person with a cell phone knows that the batteries of our cell phones, how they're gotten, there's no way that you can like think
He
that
said
you
that.
can.
He
Yes.
said, I'm gonna call you on my Chinese phone, but I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, but you come on. It's like, but if you have one of these,
I actually don't know about
you
how
are
the batteries
supporting. I guess they have to mine them or something. It's like it's kind of something similar, I think, to blood diamond. While niggas was like, you should never get a diamond for your partner if you knew how your people were treated to get these, which I mean, it's interesting. Which
My people or Asian people?
our people, they say us, Sierra Leone. You remember that shit?
So what he supposed to get me?
Well, Iman Shumpert
What
got
white folks want?
Tiana Taylor a ruby, and I hear those are more expensive. But they ain't nothing
What
like
white folks wanting?
diamond, huh?
I want my shit from wherever white folks is working in the field.
Where?
The land of Kakia.
Where they work? Called the Caucasus Mountains.
What the fuck is mine out of there? Because
So
I want my shit
you got
from there.
Asians, then you got Caucasians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
so
two
I'm like, I want my
separate
shit
groups.
from there,
Yeah,
but-
two separate groups.
But it was interesting
No.
because, of course, with that he went into the Will Smith thing, and I will say,
Interesting. No?
I don't know that I feel like Will Smith has selective outrage, but I do feel like everything else he just fine with selective outrage, and I feel like maybe him ranting about Will Smith at the end was a metaphor for his selective outrage, right? Because like,
Oh yeah, very artistically done.
yeah, in that way. But I just don't know. I don't think Will Smith selected. He kind of made it seem like he picked on him because he was small. I don't know that many other people were saying it in front of Will Smith's face except Jada, and he can slap the shit out of her on Breakfast Club. On Table Talk, whatever the fuck it is.
I think he meant what I think he meant by he picked on him because he was small. I think he picked this specific time as opposed to other times that a lot of other people would deem more disrespectful, but you come after me for something so small. So I can see how he meant that.
But I'm like, but
so
was
many,
he there? This is the first time we saw Will Smith
like physically
there
in front of
physically.
somebody,
That's what I'm
and they
saying.
said something
and
to
they said
him.
it like she be there.
I can respect that. Yeah, I can respect. Like,
did
they
they
say?
Charlamagne say it?
Yeah.
And he not there.
But he not.
Everybody
I can
got
see
an opinion.
If we were there in an interview together,
but
that's
I'm
different.
Here,
but
and
if
you gonna
I'm
try
here,
my wife in front of me,
right? And here's the thing.
That's why I'm like,
and
slap the shit, nigga.
But one thing I will say about what you said is right. That's why I say a lot of talking really ain't too much about shit. Now, if you in an interview with me, a lot of times a nigga ain't gonna be that close to you and say something so disrespectful to you. That's why I know content. That's why we really don't know we really don't know the type of people we're dealing with until we're face to face with them a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's why this social media shit be bullshit, because a lot of niggas would not say certain things to niggas or about niggas if those same niggas were sitting right here next to them.
That's actually why I really respect Charlamagne, because at least he 100. He a buck.
Well, no, I didn't see him bitch up a couple times too, though.
He has.
Where
he,
I'm
he,
like,
he speak his mind for the most part.
no, but I mean when he really got sunned, like when Fredro Starr, which I was just like,
Fredro Starr was really about that life, and he
Yes.
was fine. I'm like, yes, Moesha.
No, so that's what
Yes,
I'm saying.
Q.
I didn't see like now. Here's my thing. That's when I see.
But at least he was speaking that language while there.
But yeah, no, Fredro brought it up, and then Charlamagne, he backed it. Like he was just like, and I'm like, okay, that's good, because I know a lot of niggas would have taken Fredro's approach as like, okay, then we just finna go there because nigga, how you talking to me? So Charlamagne, either he was like, no, okay, I'm not going. That's fine. We know what it was. No matter what you say, the reason is
right. Well, but I do appreciate that Charlamagne's words he don't back down on. He will backtrack on like maybe the energy or he not gonna punch somebody, but I also don't think Charlamagne is like a fighter, right? Like
no, and they have footage where he ran from niggas, like actual niggas who were trying to fight him.
That he could actually fight. And he's not tall. He's 5'4". But throw us out there on Black Effect Network. But
and that's my thing too. I think like there are people who don't.
I love somebody.
They don't fight. They just kind of like want to talk.
I think Candace from Real Housewives of Potomac is like that.
Yes.
And I respect her because at least she gonna still say that crazy shit in front of you.
She ain't trying to really fight. She just really talking.
When old girl choked the shit out of her, she was upset, and you do gotta know the consequences of talking. But I can appreciate somebody who will talk that way in your face, that they will talk that way behind your back.
Yes, but I don't
appreciate that.
I don't know if I always. Here's my thing though. One thing I will say, and maybe that's just as time goes on, I do feel like, see, some people, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about. Bottom line, it'd be like, can you beat my ass though? Because at first, I have different opinions about people putting their hands on you just because they don't like what you're saying. That's interesting to me. Like I understand, like things can happen, but I always think, well, that's funny. So you can't say certain things, but they're saying you can't say certain things. So then, or you gonna have to fight them for it. Boom, that's that. Then you have to be fighting a lot. I don't know, like.
Well, here's the thing though, because I think about it in a while,
about it.
and I saw a real example of this today.
Okay.
All right, so we out. I'm walking Kanye, and he's like vicious. He don't even know how vicious, but his teeth are sharp. He's pretty vicious now. He know, but he don't know. But we walking and we chilling. And this goose was like, huh?
The goose?
Yeah. And he kind of, because he was walking at the goose all aggressively, and then he stopped. The goose was like, huh? And he looked at me like, and then he said, huh? And then two other gooses said, huh? And he took off running. But he is the aggressor. So I had to say, like, he can beat their ass, but he don't know. But there is something to be said about somebody who, like,
making a lot of noise.
The same thing is about an elephant versus a lion. That sound that an elephant make does ward a lion to stop. Right? So I'm not saying that, like,
sometimes,
talking, but I'm just saying, like, but your ability to talk while I'm still in front of you and your ability to, like, not back down.
Yeah.
Also, like, you know what I'm saying? They say when somebody's attacking you, you should run after them instead of to run from them. Yeah. Because then they will also feel scared, right? Yes. Like, so I feel like there is something to be said about that, about talking. Because I feel like that about Candace, like, from Real Housewives. And I kind of feel like that about Charlamagne, where it's just like, I really feel like that about Joe Budden. And, like, it's just like, I'm at least still talk that shit. You know, like, no, I said what I said. I said what I said. You know, like, no, I said and what I said. And I can actually really appreciate that. Like, you know, like, I do think there's a point to where, like, you gonna keep saying some shit and it gets physical.
No, and then you got to be ready for it. Fine.
But I do appreciate you saying what you said in front of me instead of only saying it online.
Yeah, at least because a lot of people won't do that. And so, they won't do that.
Right. And so
they'll change it.
That's why I think that's kind of what happened with Will Smith. I think that, like, everybody, because Chris Rock stand up, he says everybody was calling him a bitch, and I'm sure they were. And he makes this joke about how big Will Smith is. But also, everybody wasn't calling him a bitch to his face. Really, nobody was. Everybody was calling him a bitch.
People don't do that.
Online.
And in this online world is very different. This online world is like, it is really make believe. Yeah. Because it's a lot of people giving opinions that would never even have a fucking voice in certain rooms.
That's how you want
avatars
now.
Probably not because, not to say you're worthy of it, but because you wouldn't have believed you were worthy of it. You know what I mean? Now everybody is very, very bold on the internet, right? Yeah. Because you don't ever know me or ever have to see me. Right? So it's just like, it's a crazy fucking thing. And now you have to be accountable. But that's okay, because now we're going to see if your actions and your words and all that shit match up. It's like, is this really who you are, who you've been portraying?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree to that. But it's just like, I don't know, because there's also there's an element of, like,
But you know what? We're set up too. I saw an interview with 50 Cent, and the interviewer asked him. He said, you know, in your song you said, you know, I slept with your favorite actress, and he asked 50. He said, is that true? And 50 was like, what do you think? And he was like, I think He's like, okay, then that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. And so it's like a lot of people can be fooled by these little fucking pieces of nothing information or whatever, swayed by pictures, by sound bites. And so as a result, people are able to build identities out of this shit. Yes.
I agree though, but and at some point, right, like, because Chris Rock does make a joke, like, about essentially the victim interviewing the victim.
When he was talking about cheating on each other.
Right, but I do think it's something to be said where I can sit here and hear what happens and calm myself and listen to my wife say these things because of the love I have, whatever, and, like, be upset, but listen to her, like, and not slap the shit out of her. But then you calling me a bitch, but to me that's me really, like, manning up, because I'm like, all right, I'm taking this.
Yeah,
I'm not fucking.
You don't know who
I'm a man, but but I'm saying, because I'm also manning, because the real bitch is somebody who runs from their vows that they made just because of anything that a little bit of tension.
Let's talk about it.
A little bit of tension.
That's why I said I wonder.
Now I don't think it's really cool what Jada did, but it's like, it's not running from your vows because of tension. You know,
what do you mean it's cool what she did? Like, she cheated?
Well, I'm not dismissing that the cheating is a wrong act.
Yeah, that was wrong. Yeah, she
People
did that.
will say that.
Her
but
son's
I'm not.
Friend, right?
Yeah, and all of that. But, like, Will Smith isn't bitching up because I'm not.
No.
What should he have done? Torn her down, cussed her out, left her?
He's actually showing us
more of a bitch move.
But that's how you know the culture, I hate to say it, is backwards. The culture is tearing this down because the culture has an idea that marriage is perfect. And that if the marriage messed up, it's because a person fucked up and they should have never done nothing ever. Okay, well, what type of relationships are you in where a motherfucker, how do we expect to have a relationship, a really solid relationship, if we ain't been through shit? Like, what Will and Jada really are showing us, whether you agree with it or not, is like how a family commits to each other and deals with whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, we gonna do this together. I'm
Right.
not saying I could do it. I only wish that I could. I don't know. That's a high form of love.
But that's what I'm saying. And that's what
It's
like,
a high
so the
form
real
of
form
love.
of it to me, bitching up is like letting you talk shit about my wife in front of me. And I love Chris Rock's stand up because he had some good points. And when I'm laughing at it, but it's like he talks about himself being Pookie from New Jack City. And it's
Yeah,
like, all right,
he said
then,
that. I
Pookie,
saw that part.
say it with your chest, little ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't- you know I was pro slap. So
See, I'm not pro slap.
I remember you weren't, and that's
No,
the thing.
I'm not.
I remember
I'm
in that
still
debate,
not.
you were post, but I was just like, but also like, I don't think Chris Rock was wrong for using his platform to voice his thing though. I don't appreciate that. People are like, let it go. Like, I got the right to not let go of whatever the fuck I don't want to let go.
I don't know how that was coming. You know, that was
like,
crazy
let
to
it go,
me that it
or
was
it's not
coming
funny,
up
or Will Smith
because
is hurt
he's going to
and
be
Will Smith-
canceled.
And I don't even know if Will Smith said he was hurt, but it's also like, okay, Chris Rock got the right to, because he also went through a trauma. He also went through a situation. So it's like, let's not discredit this mental health shit that he probably just went through, being slapped the shit out of in front of everybody.
And
else.
and that's why
Now,
I think
everybody know he's the weaker male.
and it's crazy because I guess you could say like, yeah, it's wrong. I don't think Will should have did it, but at the same time, and you never know what the fuck could happen. If you do say something and a
vibe the
motherfucker
baby.
run up on you, you could sue him and be like, they shouldn't have did that, and you're right, they shouldn't have, but they did. And that can happen to you. You can say some shit and get
Chris
caught
Rock
out here.
did not sue Will.
Yeah, he didn't.
did not get the.
You could get caught
he
up
still
out
let
here.
that man get his Oscar.
You could get. He didn't shit. That's why you see the joke. Remember we was laughing at the joke that Jimmy Kimmel made on the Oscars. He's the host of the Oscars when he was like, remember he was like,
do
now
anything violent, we still will allow you.
if any of you feel like getting jiggy with it and run up here and commit an act of violence, you will win an Oscar for best actor. Yeah,
love
he
that.
was
That
talking
was
shit.
hilarious.
But I mean, yeah, I guess people. It is crazy though how that happened. Like it was like, wow, he still.
Well, that
got
was
up
due to Chris
and
Rock, so
gave
we
a
do gotta
speech.
appreciate that. And Chris Rock got some other good points in his thing too. So I love the fact that he talks about, I don't say the P word like that, but he says the power of the vagina, essentially, right? Like
The power of the vagina.
right, the power of the, whatever.
Ooh.
And he was just like, he makes these jokes about, he was like, about older women versus younger women. He was like, he said, and I would love to hear your opinion on this. He said, men don't date younger women because they're younger. Men date younger women because they're cheaper. And he said, a young woman like, buy me shoes, daddy. Buy me shoes. I want these shoes. He said, and then you buy him. He's like, let me wear these shoes for you, daddy. Well, fuck you. Let me wear these shoes. He said, you go fuck to old bitch. He like, can you look at my roof?
Hey,
I know when I asked the nigga look at my engine. Then he talk about, it made me think about old boy who I was like, my car got this sound going on.
And he came
And
in.
then he said, then you finish fucking her. He's like, and old bitch pussy is so much better than young bitch. He's like, that shit's seasoned. It done settled. He said, it's like spaghetti. Like it's better the next day. So then he's like, but then afterwards, you and hog heavy, you laying on her, and she like, can you take me to go pick up my car at the dealership? Can you talk to them because they're going to take advantage of me?
And now
He said, you get there, they like, it's $500. She said, I only got 35. He said, ain't nothing sexy about me getting your cat. He said, I just fixed your roof. Ain't nothing sexy about your catalytic converter. That shit had me crying because
For real.
it definitely made me think about, oh boy, when I was like, can you have your mechanic
Oh my
look at
God. But he did. Yo, he came through. But why is you right? Why do I totally believe that he's right? Like older women.
He says, not because they're younger.
No, we know that if you around and you offering help, we need you for bigger problems. Nigga, I don't need you for shoes. I could buy shoes. Nigga, can you look at my roof?
So my roof was having this shit. He said, they be wanting
Look
shit.
at the
He be
roof.
wanting commitment and
Come
shit too.
on.
So I thought that was hilarious. And then he was talking about like, where women, he said, his son, he says, my wife is the smartest person I know. She's got just as much money as me, and she ain't funny at all.
Ooh,
That
come
shit
on.
was hilarious.
Hey, if that's not the fucking antidote to feminism, all by its fucking self, are you fucking kidding me?
She don't have money. He said, ex-wife too.
Yeah.
And then
Come
he was
on.
like, he's talking about dating and shit or whatever. And I mean, hit me up, Chris Rock. But, and then it was funny too because he was like, he described what happiness looks like, or what I guess prosperity looks like. He was like, I'm gonna give you two neighborhoods. He's like, imagine, and he didn't even put a race to it, which I thought was interesting because either way it looks like this. Because I'm thinking about Atlanta, but he's like, you see women outside pushing strollers, exercising, doing yoga, riding bikes. And he was like, this is a great place to live. It's probably a Whole Foods nearby. And he said, juxtapose that with, you see men outside lifting weights, riding bikes.
What the fuck?
At home, walking on the corner. He's talking about, you're in danger. Wherever you're at, you're not safe.
Yes.
And I was just like, yes, because it really made me think about our femininity scorecard. Because I'm like, where there's women who are in great mindsets, there's prosperity. I told this guy who recently asked me, we were talking about why I was single or whatever, but then we also started talking about the need for a partner. And it's like, or we talked about like, well, I don't want a girlfriend, why or why not? And I'm like, there's a reason why every successful book about business, every president, all of that talks about their wife or their spouse or their partner. Being able to pick a partner who not only like just, at least at the minimum, doesn't take you down, but to find a partner who like builds you up in the same alignment, gives you peace, is like, that shit can 10x you so much faster than anything else. And if you don't understand that value, then you really ain't about business. You really don't understand the way this whole shit works. And it's more than just money, right? Because a man who only thinks that women cost money doesn't understand that women cost money to bring more money to the table.
Period.
And I thought about that. It's that movie, maybe Fatal Attraction, whatever, with a movie where the wife and the husband go there and the wife bring all these investors to meet the husband. So you can get out, like,
yep.
It's just something about, like, when you got a woman on your side, you know how much money you can
And if
make?
you don't understand that, that's because
if I'm at Lululemon at 2 o'clock, you know how happy I am?
Did he grow up with
You know how much dick you gonna get?
Did he grow up with his dad?
Who, Chris Rock?
No, the person who said that.
Yeah.
Did he?
But I think at some point maybe he was, like, in jail or something, but I think, yeah. But I'm not 100% sure.
It's funny. I just saw the Hispanic rapper Anuel, Anuel. Y'all know who he is. And he said the interviewer, matter of fact, it was Noriega. What is that, Drink Champs?
Oh, I love Noriega.
He interviewed him and he said, he was on their show and he was like, you said that you told your dad that he was more successful than you, even though you got, you know, all this money and whatever, you're a big time artist. And he was like, he is. And he said, why did you tell him that? He said, because he got to raise all his kids under one roof.
Yes.
He said, my son, I bought the house, but I'm not in the house with my son.
Yeah.
He was like, I bought it, but that, you know what he said? I bought it, but that don't mean shit. Exactly. He said that. So when I realized that he understood the value of that, the value of your daddy being there with you.
Yes.
Not a visiting daddy. Daddy lives, I can wake up any time of the night and see my daddy. Do you know how valuable that is?
So one of the sexiest comments that was made to me recently by somebody, you know, by a suitor of mine.
Suitor?
And
Ooh, is he courting you?
I'm gonna call all my men suitors because
they are suitors.
I'm out here like Bridgerton. I'm not giving the pussy up
until you fuck them. Then they're called fuckers.
Right. That's something. I'm out here. I'm not giving the vagina up. I'm actually.
He's putting his bid in. Because he's got to bid on the pussy.
To none of these fools. I'm not giving it up. So I'm actually getting to know them. But so to one of my suitors, he said something about, like, I said, because for me it's important. I want kids. That's what I want. I know I want kids. I'm going to be an amazing mother. I mean, freaking Kanye, once for nothing, is super trained at 4 months. Yeah. At 3 months, he knew where to party outside. Super loved. And I do need to work on this, the fact that he has anxiety because I leave. So I maybe have made him but we're working on that. I'm leaving him more and more. But like all that love is, so I do that for my dog. And he's a dog. Please believe I understand the difference. I'm not a white woman. So I can't wait to do that for my kid. I'm going to make this amazing mother. I know it. I'm going to make an amazing mother. I had an amazing mother. So, and so I want kids. And I say it. I speak that very much so to any man who kind of comes in contact with me. And they were like, I was asking, do they want kids? And they were like, yes and no. And I said, why yes? And they said, well, I would love to be able to raise my own kids in my house. And I said, well, what that means? He was like, well, you know, I'm with someone who has kids. I got married to someone. No, he said, I got married to someone who had kids. So I'm raising someone else's kid. And my kid, even though I'm in his life, does not live with me. So someone else raised my kid. Yeah. He said, I would love to raise my kids. Yeah. And I thought that was so sexy because there is a difference.
There is a difference.
As the greatest and what's different, even if I could see it in the difference between me and my brother. I saw my dad in the house almost all of my years and he left when we were about 13. Whereas my brother is 6 years younger than me, so he saw my dad outside of the house and being a great parent. He even lived with my dad. But there's something different between having a 2-parent household or not, and raising your kids together or not.
It makes a huge difference.
And we don't want to talk about it, but like I love my brother, but let's talk about it. It's different.
And it sets the blueprint for your life because
it does.
I grew up, my parents were together for as long as I can remember, and only when I moved out did they finally separate. So even now, even as a single woman, I have an idea of a household being that I'm with someone.
Yes.
So I know that right now that this, like, I look at this as a period of transition. Like I feel like I'm going to be with somebody because that's all I saw. My mom was with someone my whole life pretty much.
You learned so much. And so for a man to value that is sexy as fuck.
Yeah, she was with someone, so I always kind of figured like you got to have that's why when I would hear about women who would set out to have a baby on their own, like they knew that the man wasn't going to be around. I could never understand that. I'm like, do they fucking know how annoying babies are, or how much like you do not want to do that shit by yourself? I would never.
I have no idea.
I like when I was holding the
parents and a dog,
holding the baby carrier by your like that shit is no like
which one?
Like when the baby's little and you got to carry it and it's the car seat, you know, the top part when you walking into places and it's a little baby. Girl, that baby carrier is heavy as fuck. And I just think about like all the different things you got to do. I would never set out to do that on my own, unless I had a lot
if I'm by myself, who carries it?
You. It's a
valet
carrier.
Don't get it?
Well, if you got valet, that's my thing. Here's another thing. There's a difference too. You can hear. Let's just say I remember when before Rihanna got with ASAP, I think she had said something about wanting to have a baby and that she didn't necessarily feel she had to be with the father to have the baby. And I'm like, yeah, she telling young girls that shit, but Rihanna got a lot of money. You either got a good baby daddy or you got a lot of money to where you can kind of make up, and that still is going to be issues, but you have a lot of resources at your hands.
The butler going to be the baby daddy.
Exactly. He going to grow up being real close to those guys, you know, if you rich.
Hey, Stuart.
Stuart
helps me out the car.
My mom's just really being a bitch today.
Stuart, help me out the car. Can you open the door?
Stuart throwing a football with you and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Stuart's your daddy. Yeah, either you rich or you got a really good husband, a really
daddy.
Good Stuart. But you need somebody with you for a baby because it just takes a lot. Like, and then as a mother, you love your child so much, you don't want them to be lacking in any way.
Yeah.
And so you feel like they need all these people. You don't want them to feel like they don't have resources or like people they can relate to. So you don't you want to give them the best chance possible.
I mean, I'm learning that, raising a white kid right now.
Kanye and Westy.
Because he feels like everything is. If he sees a couch, he's like, it's mine. I'm supposed to get up there.
Yeah, it's his mother.
And I'm like, damn, I raised a white kid. He is.
He is privileged.
Look, he's in some man's jacket. I mean, I'm really working on like telling him like, no, like you're supposed to ask before you get up on people's furniture. But I gave him too much at once. I did. Yeah. I gave him too much at once. But so I'm like, but I'm learning that, so
yeah. Okay, you got to tell me about Earth.
Earth is ghetto. I wanna leave. Can you beam me up? I'm out on the street.
Earth is ghetto because I don't know if you heard about Silicon Bank.
What happened?
But
it's full of
this is why Earth is ghetto. Maybe Earth is ghetto or Earth is not, but Silicon Valley is. Silicon Bank just recently defaulted. So if you don't know, if you have money in the bank, the FDIC, which is just like the Federal Department of like something currency, only protects your money up to $250,000 per person, right? So that means like if I got a person in the bank, no matter how many accounts I got in this one bank, they only over $250,000. And so in the Silicon Valley Bank, people have money in there. But right now we're in a recession, and the bank leverages your deposits to make loans. Yeah, and that's how they give the money out. So your loans are actually real money given out. Right, how people deposits or whatever. And so it defaulted and essentially shut down.
Oh my God!
And the FDIC, but the Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley, so everybody had millions of dollars.
Oh my God!
And trying to pull it out, and they cannot. And the FDIC is only covering $250 per person, and that shit is ghetto as fuck because, I mean. I guess if I was not on the pathway to be a millionaire, I wouldn't feel like it's ghetto. But it's ghetto as fuck. The FDIC only covers small amounts of money, like $250,000. That ain't shit. That's barely even somebody's retirement.
That's why people be stashing money in other places.
They do, but it's like where? But I thought that's just really ghetto to think about.
No, but Cayman Islands.
Here's the thing too. The one thing I wanted to circle back on that person who I was talking to about partnership is if you married, it's $250 per person. So at least we could do $500K. So if there's 5 banks with us doing $500K, that's us doing what, like 4.5 million. Whereas if it's by myself, I can only do 2 million.
But I really think when a man says
2.25
when a man
million.
says that he doesn't want to have a partner, that's only because he hasn't yet found a reason to merge with someone that he feels would result in something better than what he is currently doing by himself. He hasn't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Because when you think about a relationship with someone you're going to really commit to and like, this is it, we're going to be bonded together, that, you know how you got to think like that means that this person, I feel that he's going to add, I'm going to add to them. We're going to come together, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously hasn't ran into anything
Like me?
that makes him feel like it would be better than him alone in doing what he's doing.
Fair.
Obviously.
I agree.
And that's right. So that's why he's had the decision. That's why shit changes every day.
That's why I can't get mad at you because like you don't look. When I first came to Colorado, I thought it would be big for me to buy a duplex because my dad owns duplexes. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm in Colorado, I am 100% within these next 4 months. I'm going to own 30 units in one place, and I wanted to buy a 2-unit. A duplex is 2 units.
At one point,
right? And I thought that when before I even met my ex-husband, I even give him this credit. I was looking at money like 20, 50K. Now I'm like, it's only 500K.
yeah.
I speak like that, like, so I can't fault you for not knowing what you have.
Because perspective changes. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't, but like, but I do still think Earth is ghetto. The fact that 250K is like, so how are we? Because here's the thing. This is why I think this is so ghetto, right? Everybody's gonna be like, well, these are mega millionaires. They got the money to lose.
Yeah,
If big corporations, I'll even use my company for example. We First Bank, we got 40 million in the bank. Mm-hmm. If that shit's not covered, you know how many unemployed people are going to be if First Bank can't cover that 40 million. Yeah. So if you look at it like small money, you'll be like, oh, it's a balloon. Whatever, all that shit, you got a lot of money.
Right.
But an LLC is still counted as one entity, right? Even if it has 20 investors.
Yeah.
So if the FDIC is only covering 250 million, you know how ghetto that shit is? Our businesses are not covered or backed by our system that we pay into. Why the fuck am I paying taxes as a business owner? Why the fuck is my employers paying taxes? Fuck is my employees paying taxes? If their money and actually their livelihood and access to money through me as their business owner is not covered. That shit is ghetto as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like, we got to do something better. Yeah. Get that shit together. Come on, Federal Reserve.
I wonder why, though. But my thing is, maybe it's something that we need to realize then, too. Maybe we need to spread our money out. Maybe.
But there's not that many banks. So like, the possibility of spreading your money. So how do you spread out 4 million?
If you got
40 million,
you got
how
millions,
you spread it about 250?
250,000 a piece. I wonder, is that the max that we all do?
No, that's the max that the FDIC is covered, period.
Oh, period, yeah.
And so if you got 40 million, right? 1 million at 250 million is 5.
So we're saying
you would need, what is 40 divided by? What's 4? Well, yeah, you need about 7 banks.
But what would we have to? So the FD.
No.
So we're saying that we can only cover so much.
You need about 35 banks. Let me get that back. You need about 35 banks, or whatever. 40. You need 40 times. 7.
What's the benefit of us?
You need 280 banks to cover 40 million.
What's the benefit of us doing more?
That our business's money is covered, right? If I, as a business owner, has to spread my money out, because the real number, I said that backwards. So, FDIC covers 250.
Yeah.
If I'm a business owner that got 40 million in the bank, right? That means I'm gonna need
for sure
200 banks to cover all of this. I can't run payroll from 200 banks. I run it from one. If my money's not covered, and if any reason. Because Bank of America defaulted. They're a huge bank. They run payroll for big companies. So, like, if any reason, First Bank, which is a Colorado bank, really, defaults on that 40 million.
But can we?
You know how many people I'm going to have to fire? That's why we need to back that in some other way.
But I'm wondering, can we afford to back them for the max?
Not maybe the max, but it has to be more than 250.
So
we can afford to do more than we paid more than 250 in taxes in our lifetime.
Yeah, I wonder, maybe that's why they're looking at it like, hey, the rest you're taking a risk on because we can't afford to ensure you
risk be at our businesses.
Because what, 20 million? Let's say you got 40 million. You saying what you want to be at least covered for 20 mil? That's huge.
I think it should be a percentage of what you have in there. I don't think it should be a flat rate. I think it's a percentage of what you have in there.
I wonder
what you leverage my shit, because this is why I feel like it too. That 40 million, they are leveraging in loans that they're getting back. Even right now, even if it's just interest even if it's just mortgage loans, 5%. So you're leveraging my 40 million to make 5% off of that, right? So that's for you to make 2 million off my 40 million. And so it's just like, you can cover my shit. Because basically they leverage that $40 million more than once too.
But I wonder how often I wonder if we're looking at, because I guess it's the same way as insuring people who have certain health conditions, right? It's like, well, pre-existing conditions, do we want those? I don't know. Are they looking at, is it just, do they think it would bankrupt us maybe?
I think
Based on what happens with these
realistically,
banks?
how often a bank that can hold somebody's account for $40 million is often a bank that also can give real estate loans, which means they can also leverage the real estate. So if you can afford that, the likelihood of you default is really small. It's just I'm looking at it less about like health insurance, where you're more like, if I have bad lungs, I'm more likely to croak.
Yeah.
And looking at it more like car insurance, where a lot of us pay into that shit and a lot of us don't get back from it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same thing about this.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of us put our money into banks. A lot of us don't. A lot of banks don't default if in large amounts, like
Usually.
you're putting in there above that 250.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you can cover this, bro, because you also make money off my money. You make billion. You make off my 40 million. You make 80 million.
Yeah.
And the benefit of that is because
sure
if
do.
you default and I can't pay my things, we look like Colorado. Colorado right now, California right now is an example of like when you take a place that was less expensive, make it more
Oh my
expensive,
God.
and then people can't afford it.
It's so crazy.
Right? So if you,
Yeah.
I've given them this money, and you take this $40 million away, and I have to depress all these people because the banks can't cover my money. Businesses, especially small businesses, can't operate. You kill the country. We're gonna look like Detroit. Detroit is the prime example of that, with the Ford plants and all the plants that's there, and or like Cleveland and Ohio looks like that. Like where if I have all this money in there and then I default and these companies go by the wayside, what do you get? A large amount of crime and a large amount of people who can't afford to live.
Yeah. Crazy.
You know, that was a little soapbox right there, but that's why I think Earth is ghetto. Only to come
Earth
back.
is ghetto. I like.
All right, so
We didn't talk.
tell me about the streets.
The streets be calling my name. The streets be calling my name. Come on.
calling.
John Morant was in the street.
Yo,
Where the streets?
niggas is
Calling
out
his
here in
name.
Denver. He went to so Tyler was telling me, I guess his team lost to the Nuggets. And you know, he wanted to have a good night out, so he went
Natural
to
flow of basketball.
Come on, he went to Shotgun Willie's, a little strip club out here. Not one of the better ones, which is Colorado, so there really ain't no good ones. But I'm saying that on top of that, so you take what I mean. So, and blew like $50K.
I don't think it's a lot.
Well, I know that floor was covered.
That's not a lot for a basketball player, though.
Well, I just mean like, well, I guess I ain't really thinking about him because you're right, because he got it's nothing. It's like $20 for him, Tyler was saying, based
It
on
is.
the contract he just signed. But I know that Colorado, that particular strip club is not used to seeing a nigga come in there.
I'm like, the niggas
and
spend
blow
50K in Atlanta
50K.
all the time.
She from Atlanta. I get it, but niggas is not used to a nigga coming into one of these strip clubs out here in Colorado and blowing $50K.
So where do the Nuggets players go?
She was having a good night. There ain't no like strip clubs like that around here.
The Nuggets players don't go to the strip clubs?
There ain't. I mean, they could go, but I mean, there ain't really no like main ones. Like there's Denver Gentlemen's Club, yeah, Shotgun Willie's, which is one of the lower. That's why it's so funny that was the one. But maybe it was just close to wherever the fuck he was. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it was that Google search. Whatever the results put first, they paid for that advertisement and they probably got
They did.
Ja. That's what happened.
But where did we go with for our friend's birthday? They at least had some like
think
some
that was
cute black
PTs.
girls who had like some twerking or something.
I think that was PT's.
I think I threw all the money. Or were we in Shotgun? No,
That was, no, not
I
Shotgun.
threw some money in
That
Shotgun
was
before, too.
over for our friend's birthday, right? And that was over by her area, so that was really.
But we at least saw
the
some like
mix.
cute black girls or something.
Yeah.
Maybe is it cute black girls at Shotguns?
No, it's typically. I think you probably got a mixture of everything, but it just ain't never been like nothing like.
But so that's no money. And to me, the biggest thing about what happened was there's like maybe this fool was drunk because
Had to be.
Kimmy has done some drunk conversations. A lot of times Cookie checked me. The other day we sitting there, Cookie like, I don't know who you texting, but you've been drinking. So I
Oh
actually
my
appreciate that.
God.
But
And don't call me in the morning talking about some, what the fuck did I text?
whatever.
What the
But
fuck?
Either way, so maybe John Morant was like on that shit. Maybe he had a couple
The
wines
streets was
or
calling
something.
his name.
But to me, the biggest faux pas that he did was go on live and show a pistol.
Yeah. But my thing, and it sounds like, based on what our engineer said, what Tyler said, is that
He
when
saw
he
it.
went live, then that's when the club released their security cam footage.
So he went live, and it was a thing, and then afterwards the club
they sold it. Yeah, they sold the
footage of
which
him throwing all that
I
money.
would too, because obviously he wasn't ashamed to say what he was.
And the gun isn't in the footage, but I think it's just like this whole emergency stuff. So you're a brand, and I was talking to somebody about this earlier today. The problem isn't that he threw out that money. The problem is you're a brand and you flashed a gun, right?
Yeah.
Like,
He's 20.
And you're a brand.
And he's 23 years old. These
but
young
you just
boys,
got dropped. He got dropped by Under Armour or New Armour or Body. No, he got dropped by Body Armour and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and that's what they be.
You just lost all of this for $50,000 as shotguns and a gun.
they be trying to save y'all from that, but you can't stop a young person all the time from doing what the fuck they want to do. So as a result, he's gonna have to feel the consequences for that, because now you didn't got dropped off of what? You could have had a bitch come to your hotel or wherever the fuck you was at. I mean, you Ja Morant.
But I do think that's the evolution of, I'm gonna use my phone to film everything, and then I'm gonna use my phone to film me, right? That's the evolution of life, right? Like, first your phone is everything around you, and then you can turn it on yourself.
Yo.
And so, cause the sucky part about it is he filmed himself with the gun on live, but it's just like,
it's crazy.
You get into this mode of feeling invincible.
You do.
And that's something
you
that we do.
That there are people out there, because
and
you've
you
been
feel
hanging
invincible.
out with you and your phone. I know that I'm old, because I remember the time when I would actually have to pull over and ask a nigga for directions. I remember I didn't have a I remember like stopping at a gas station and being like, can you tell me how to get to whoop, 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 and not having like a GPS or like having to interact with people. I remember that. And now I think that
direct yourself,
we have real, I think we have forgotten that there are real people on the other end of these motherfuckers. And whatever you doing live, they see all the shit. Like, people also mad at Tommy. She made some comments about Chris Brown's son on live. And I guess something about her she alluded to that the son was like slow or something. Yeah, she was wild with her words, with her mouth.
Why would she do that?
So I guess she was they saw that Chris Brown's son was somewhere in the vicinity where they were, and they were trying to go in there to see the baby, her and whoever she was with, to go see his child. And she was stopped though. So she was speaking against that. Didn't nobody want to see that fucking baby anyway. That baby got something wrong with, like, talking shit, and people was just like, whoa, Tommy. Like, they always go, kids are off limits. But what I mean is, like, sometimes you be talking so much, you've been talking to your phone or typing messages, you forget that there are people out there and that you just saying shit to.
Selective outrage.
Crazy. Like, you just gonna say something like that? You would never say that to their face. If that man Chris Brown was there with his son in front of you, you would never say that shit. And so it's making people.
She might, but yeah.
I don't know. She got that ass beat. And I don't know. Anywho.
By Natalie.
So Ja Morant was kind of in them streets, in these Denver streets.
He was. But
let Kim and Cookie be the first let Kim and Cookie be the first to warn y'all. Do not, because we noticed the influx of black people coming to Denver. Because Dion is out here. It's a lot. I seen a nigga in my building today, and I think I might move. My building's turning ghetto now. It's so.
I'm like, so you gonna resign your lease?
I mean, maybe. No, so like, we know, like, it's a lot of niggas coming out here, and y'all be careful. You know what happened to Kobe out here. You see what happened to Ja Morant at Shotgun Willie's. Don't y'all get out here with these aggressive ass white girls and lose your mind. Sincerely, Cookie. Okay, so
that was a PSA.
Don't you get out here now. She get to rubbing on your hair and shit, like, oh my God, this feels so soft.
You saw what happened.
Are these dreadlocks? They feel so soft.
And then she take your ass.
She take your ass hiking, and then she take your ass to climb one of these motherfucking 14ers.
Ask Rodney.
And then the altitude's so high, and your ass get to losing brain cells and do some shit out here you gonna regret.
Ask Rodney.
Don't get out here now and act fucking stupid. There are black girls out here, and we looking for you. So let us know when you hit the city.
Don't call me. So I'm spoken for.
You know what? She has suitors. So she's off the market. But
you can DM me, but I might not
But
answer.
Cookie's here. Hit us up on the Kim and Cookie IG. But no, for real. I'm not playing. Don't you niggas get out here and start acting crazy. Okay? We a small percentage of the population. We need all of y'all to pretty much act right. Don't you be showing out in front of these white people. All right,
don't fight in front of white people. That's what Chris Fox said.
Man, come on. Anyways.
Okay, but you got to tell me about you in the streets.
We done.
You done? No, I need to.
You supposed to pick. This was supposed to be your story.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You're supposed to tell what happened.
See how niggas do
the
you.
people still.
So now Ja Morant is the streets.
No, Ja Morant is streets. No, you the streets. You have to tell us, because as far as they concerned, they don't know that basically Kimmy done joined. Okay, so anyways.
Don't say it like that.
The streets be calling my name. Listen, he gonna put it in right there. Okay, so y'all gotta know about this. So remember, Kimmy told y'all the story about the dude she met, fell madly in fucking love with after one night.
I'm still in love
With you, boy. And so they were like talking and stuff, and he was giving this grand speech at Toastmasters. And so she went on February the 16th because she thought he was going to give a big speech. But it turned out it was March the 16th.
Who says the 16th?
So she had the dates all wrong. Anyways, so just passed on the 16th, y'all, which was, what's that today?
Yes.
She went to see him speak, and he did really, really good. She's so proud of him. She's still in love with his chocolate face, and she's doing very well. It looks like she's going to join the public speaking club because she's won. So they have a round called Table Topics. It's where you do like an improvisation. Like you don't know the topic, and you got to stand up and get a topic, and you speak about it improv off top of the dome. She done won about 3 times now.
3 out of 4, and they actually keep saying like, "You push us to be better."
And she is like winning the table. She's Table Topics queen right now. So she not only invaded this nigga's little social club, now she's taking over.
Okay, see, don't say it like that. Now I don't want to go back.
You're a member now. You gotta go back.
I didn't invade it. First of all, he invited me. And I just happened to be, and I went while he wasn't there.
But I didn't think
love didn't have to be amazing.
I don't think he thought that you were gonna be as good as you was.
Right, but I happened to be amazing.
Brittany.
But don't say I invaded his social club because that makes me feel sad.
No, don't feel sad.
Look
It's
at
just,
my baby. My baby's like, you talking shit about my mama? Look at
in
him.
48 Laws of Power,
She is, baby.
one of the laws is never outshine the master. Brittany's been fucking outshining the master ever since she went to Toastmasters.
I gave him a speech.
And now her man is so intimidated by her, it's ridiculous.
You think that's true?
No, I hope not.
But I have been outshining. I didn't mean to. But
you're
I
outshining the master.
I can't help it. I can't. But
well,
I try to dim my light. But I am the sun.
so don't dim the light. That's not what. But
I actually didn't try to dim my light because I ain't dimming shit. But like,
but no, I'm saying he might be. I think he needs somebody who can't speak.
That he
speaks better than. No, I'm joking. No, but Kimmy.
No,
really,
but I'm wondering though, for real though, because I'm not meaning to outshine, but I am.
Kimmy really been going to this nigga's club after he invited her, and she showed up like, damn, I'll come to your little public speaking fucking club. Big fucking deal. This is what I do in real life, bitch. And she been like killing that shit. And he kind of like, whoa, you're a natural. No, it's just that. Stop it. No, but you are really good. No.
Am I a natural?
No, you're a natural. He's just not the greatest, but he's getting good.
He's actually really good. I think he's good.
And I think his timing, once he gets out of his head about it, he's going to even better. Sometimes
I think he's good.
Storytelling, people
I'm
get in
gonna show you
their
his
head.
whole thing.
Yeah. But I saw a couple like you can tell the way he talks. He seems nice, but you could tell he's so laid back that like he don't, but as he asserts it more, he's good.
I think he's funny.
He's good.
You know how you be loving somebody, you be like, he smell good. I think he funny.
Kimmy's in love.
I think it's great. And I actually, every time I win, even today, I surely thought I lost. And then they were like, Brittany. And I was like.
And that's why she's a winner.
I'm out here looking like an actress like.
Because she don't, oh my God, me?
Me?
Oh my God.
Me?
I just want to thank
Thank
all
you.
the little people.
I just want to thank
At
my
the
dad,
Academy.
who steady made me read a whole bunch of books and was really big on articulation.
Come on.
I want to thank my mom, who made sure I was in the magnet program.
Hooked
and
on
and I was
phonics.
gifted.
Thank
I
you.
want to thank
Head
Hooked on
Start.
Phonics. I've been reading since 3. Like, I just want to thank God because He knows I'm great.
God
but
knows.
like, but every time I do, every time I'm like, I don't think I'm going to win, and they're like, Brittany, I'm like, me?
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much. I mean, here we go again, guys. We're doing it again.
Kimmy?
Such an honor.
It's Brittany, bitch.
I want to thank you guys and everybody who was nominated but didn't get it. Hey, I respect your work. I love you. Keep shining.
But I really do enjoy it. And now that I know there's
do.
national competitions, I'm hella competitive too. So
it's going to be good. I think you'll do great in it. And it's like really something that's necessary. We don't really realize how important public speaking is.
well, that's why I like the table topics portion, because I'm a person who
off the dome, baby.
well, not even that. Is I have to speak to investors, and I have to and you know what's so crazy about white people is they love small talk. The funny thing about black people is black people are so direct. I think that's why we're bad at things like that at small talk, because they're like, did you hear about Michael Strahan? You know, they just talk about random stuff like,
Yeah.
and then
And I love
Bono
small talk.
said, you
I
know,
love it.
but black people are so to the point. And
Generally, yeah.
Table topics works on that because white people love small talk. Like, So how do you feel about common day racism?
And that's how
and they love it, and it's
and
so
I
off
love
the
that.
dome.
Yep, I love that. That's how
That's why
I
I
know.
love the tip topics.
And that's how I know, like, it just depends because I love that type of shit. Like, I love small talk. I love when somebody comes and they're just like a random person and you're in line and they're like, geez, I mean, it's really nice out, right? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I was like, it's crazy, the Colorado. And then you're striking up a conversation with a fucking stranger, right? But it's like those things really do help you in your everyday life in important situations. When you're talking, like, you literally can probably talk to anybody. And that is so beneficial for you. A lot of people cannot fucking do that. They don't know. They're awkward or they're like,
you know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy? We talked about perception earlier a little bit. We didn't really dive into it. But, like, you know what's so crazy about your perception is you see yourself, so you don't see the mindfulness. That mindfulness work, that abundance work is to really appreciate the gifts you have because I see myself so much that I assume that everybody does that.
Me too. That's when you learn to really value yourself. I'm the same way. And when you get out there and people, first of all, people have been telling you, so now you're putting it all together and you run into other motherfuckers.
It's like an awakening.
You run into other motherfuckers and you're like,
doesn't do that.
how do you not, like, why is this motherfucker so weird?
Everybody doesn't say good
And
morning.
you're like, oh,
yeah.
I'm you. This is not just the normal thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're like, oh, you guys are okay.
Everybody doesn't say good morning, or everybody doesn't speak.
Yeah, you don't just speak.
Yeah, it's actually
Like,
really
people
trippy.
don't speak. I'm like, oh, so we just don't even give a fuck about each other up in
Yeah,
here, huh?
like,
Yeah.
So we not all in this elevator.
Like I've said,
Yeah.
man, let me tell you what I've done. I've said hi to a motherfucker and they didn't say nothing, and I say it again. Hi. The fuck? So you just gonna act like you didn't see me say
no,
nothing?
he's not speaking.
And
yeah.
then even if you don't say nothing, I'm gonna be like, goodbye. Like, golly, people just.
that became a little aggressive.
It is aggressive.
The
And you
goodbye
know
is
what?
aggressive.
I feel like
the high is
people-
nice. The goodbye is aggressive.
They're all aggressive, really low key.
Like, whoa.
But I really feel
I'm
like
like, hey.
people think that like this generation finds it appealing to be like not care about anything. Like, well, no, whatever.
I don't think so. I think that maybe
I do.
I think that maybe they're experiencing what we're experiencing. Like, because I'm assuming everybody is the way I am because I'm only with myself. So I'm assuming like everybody talks to everybody. So then this generation who's been taught, but I was taught that because of like we're both actually from a southern place. So you are military background, but southern hospitality is a thing.
Big
right?
time in the military.
So if you grow up in a place or in a world with COVID or with social media where isolationism or solitude is kind of what you're used to, you're thinking that everybody doesn't speak, you know? Like, so I charge them with maybe.
Oh, the people who grew up in COVID?
Or even before it. Like,
Because my thing is those
I've
young
been teaching
people
I've been teaching for
are
the last
different.
10 years. Well, I taught 10 years ago. I started teaching. And they had social media in a way that I did not. They had Snapchat. So, like, when you're used to solitude, maybe you're used to, like,
that's
not
different.
speaking. So, like, they assume they run around like that because social media has made them not interact. Like, I liked your
I
picture.
agree.
That's me saying, hey, you know? So
I agree that social media makes them think that people interaction is a bit different. And so
Yeah.
you might be doing too much when you're talking to me because it's like, whoa, calm down. That's a lot of physical interaction for one day.
I haven't opened up my boundaries.
Yeah, they're like, where's
I haven't allowed you in.
and that's so scary because
Our need for physical touch.
it's scary too because it's just kind of like, wow, you don't know how to deal with a person because you've been looking at a screen and it's like, hey, this is a person. Like, you don't know how to like adjust to a social situation in real time. You gotta like loading the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
It's kind of like the anti-Zoom. Like, we could never wish my grandma happy birthday on Zoom because she couldn't log in. It's kind of like the opposite of that. Like, she like, the whole time it's dark.
And
She
she
like,
ain't gonna
am
get
I in? And like, why the fuck didn't nobody go over to
Hello,
Granny
it's
house?
the Lord. It's
All
dark
of us
in here.
assuming that she just gonna know how to get in, and she like clicking like, is this me? You see all kind of avatars and birds and shit in the background. Like, Randy, you in Jamaica?
Ready?
The fuck is you got birds and shit?
so done.
Right? But we expect her to just hop in. I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
We expect these kids to just hop along with. It's the same thing, and we're gonna really let y'all go. But it's the same thing that my counselor said with, I'm a traditional girl, so I play a little. I don't even intentionally play, but I think a man wants to chase me, and I want to be chased, and I love to cater to him after I'm chased, right? And he said, you're playing a game that was from 40 years ago that everybody accepted the rules, but you're doing it now 40 years later, and they think that everybody's on the same playing field, or everybody even understands we're on the same game or the same rules.
Nope.
I think it's the same way with interaction. Like, these kids nowadays don't know how to interact because we're assuming that they never had to interact without phones, and they don't. So now they feel like they said hi because they liked your picture 2 days ago.
Period. That's crazy. Or they like a like means something to them. So I don't know.
Okay, but for real. We're gonna let y'all go, and
Yeah, we gotta
I always
go.
agree.
I feel you. But it don't matter. It's all good.
But it's all good. Break.